The shift starts now, with the key turning in the lock to begin another day of ordered work in the stamp room. You insert the key and turn it precisely, hearing the lock click open to maintain the room's secure order. As the door swings open, you step into the workshop where every item is kept in its designated place. You switch on the lamp, its light immediately bringing order to the desk by highlighting the arranged tools and documents. Sitting down, you check the task list first to ensure the day's work follows the established order and sequence. You read the list carefully, confirming that each step is in perfect order before moving to the stamp inventory check. Inspecting the stamp inventory, you verify that every tool is in its correct place and ready for use in order. The stamps are lined up meticulously, a visual representation of the room's commitment to order and precision. You choose the first stamp from the inventory, setting it in order on the desk as indicated by the daily list. You check the ink pad to ensure it is adequately inked, maintaining the order of preparations before stamping begins. You gather the papers, stacking them in order according to the list's specifications for today's document batch. The papers are stacked with precise alignment, a simple act that reinforces the workshop's focus on order and neatness. A coworker delivers a folder, and you log the receipt in the notebook to keep the inventory in accurate order. You review the folder's documents, ensuring they are integrated into the day's work order without disruption. You check the camera monitor to confirm that everything on the desk is in the correct order and ready for processing. The monitor captures the orderly setup, a constant reminder that every element must remain in its designated place. You fine-tune the lamp and recheck the order of items on the desk, ensuring no detail is out of place before starting. You make the first log entry, recording the start of the shift and confirming the order of tasks for accountability. The logbook is filled with orderly entries, each one a step in maintaining the workshop's systematic routine. You survey the room one last time, verifying that all is in order before beginning the detailed paperwork phase. You start by reviewing the list to ensure the paper organization follows the exact sequence outlined for today's tasks. The list serves as a guide, detailing each step from paper sorting to eventual stamping, all in a specific order. You organize the papers into piles based on size and type, as per the list's instructions for systematic processing. Each pile is arranged in order, ready for the next phase of the workshop's routine document handling. A coworker delivers additional documents, and you log the receipt to keep the inventory and order up to date. You verify the order on the monitor, confirming that everything is aligned and ready for the stamping process later. You fine-tune the lighting and re-examine the list to maintain the precise order required for flawless execution. The logbook captures every transaction, ensuring that the workshop's order is meticulously recorded and traceable. You complete the paper organization and set up the stamping tools, following the list's order to transition smoothly. You finalize the entry log and shift your attention to the papers, ensuring the order is maintained as you move forward. Entering the paper stage, where documents are sorted and aligned with meticulous care under constant supervision. You begin the detailed paper alignment, placing each document in sequence according to the list's specified order. The hands move methodically, ensuring each paper is in its correct place to uphold the workshop's strict order. You spot a discrepancy in the paper order, consult the list, and correct the placement to restore the proper sequence. A supervisor inspects the order of papers, approving the alignment before leaving you to continue the systematic work. The desk displays a scene of perfect order, with every element in its designated spot for efficient processing. You verify the paper order on the list, marking it as complete and ready for the next step in the ordered workflow. You prepare the stamp by inking it, ensuring it is ready and in order for the upcoming stamping phase as per the list. You check the time to confirm that the paper stage is progressing on schedule, maintaining the workshop's timed order. You pause to ensure all papers are in perfect order before transitioning to the stamping stage, keeping the routine smooth. You initiate the checking process by examining each paper under the lamp to verify it matches the list's exact specifications. The checklist displays the progress of verifications, each checkmark confirming a paper has been inspected and found correct. You continue checking the papers one by one, ensuring every document is in its proper order as specified on the checklist. You spot a minor discrepancy in the paper order. Correct it by referring to the list and restore the precise alignment. Your hands move with deliberate care, ensuring each paper is returned to its correct spot after the checking routine. A supervisor checks your work, approves the thorough verification, and leaves you to maintain the checking pace. You update the checklist with a new checkmark, indicating that another set of papers has been verified successfully. The desk remains in perfect order, with every element positioned for efficient checking under the lamp's focused light. You perform a secondary check on a critical section of papers, verifying each one again to uphold the workshop's standards. You take a short break to maintain concentration, then return to the checking task, keeping an eye on the time. The clock ticks steadily, reminding you that the checking phase must be completed within the scheduled time frame. You consult the log notebook to ensure consistency with past checks before proceeding with the ongoing verification. You verify the physical alignment of each paper with a ruler, confirming that every document meets the strict placement criteria. The paper edges are examined closely, ensuring no misalignment escapes detection during the thorough checking process. You perform a last check of all papers against the checklist, ensuring every item is accounted for and correctly ordered. You examine the stamp tool to confirm it is ready for future use, keeping it in order as part of the checking routine. The stamp tools await the next stage, having been checked and prepared during the current paper verification phase. You verify the stamp tool's condition, noting any required adjustments on the checklist to maintain workflow efficiency. You seek supervisor confirmation for the checking outcomes, ensuring all papers have passed inspection before moving forward. You finalize the paper checking phase, updating the checklist to indicate all documents are ready for the next procedural step. You prepare the stamping area by organizing the desk, ensuring the stamp tool and ink pad are ready for the upcoming task. The stamp tool rests quietly, awaiting use as part of the meticulous workshop routine for document processing. You optimize the lamp light to illuminate the stamping zone, enhancing visibility for accurate document marking. You consult the task list to identify the initial papers for stamping, following the prescribed sequence from the checklist. You arrange the papers with a ruler, confirming their alignment to maintain order before the stamping procedure starts. The stamping phase commences, where each document receives a precise mark under the watchful camera monitor. You activate the stamp tool by applying it to the ink pad, preparing to make the first mark on the designated document. The ink coats the stamp evenly, ready for clear impressions during the document stamping process in the workshop. You apply the stamp to the paper, creating a sharp impression monitored by the camera for consistency checks. You verify the stamp's quality by comparing it to the list criteria, ensuring it meets the required standard. The stamped papers accumulate in an orderly stack, each bearing identical marks from the consistent stamping routine. You proceed with stamping additional papers, maintaining a steady pace to complete the batch efficiently. You monitor the stamp tool's ink supply, cleaning it as needed to prevent smudges during the stamping work. You update the log notebook with the current stamp count, documenting progress for the workshop's records. The workshop desk displays all tools in use, from stamps to monitors, supporting the seamless stamping operation. A supervisor conducts a quick visual check of the stamped documents, silently confirming that the process is on track. You refine your stamping technique by ensuring even pressure, which is crucial for uniform marks on every paper. You track your stamping progress on the checklist, marking each completed document to avoid omission. The camera monitor captures each stamped document, providing real-time oversight for quality control in the workshop. You complete one stamping segment, organize the papers, and review the list to plan for the next phase of work. You inspect the stamp mark under the lamp to ensure it is clear and without any flaws, as required by the workshop standards. You cross-reference the stamped document with the checklist, logging discrepancies for correction to maintain accuracy in the process. The camera monitor shows real-time images of stamped papers, enabling consistent quality checks throughout the workshop operation. You replenish the stamp's ink supply by dabbing it on the pad, preparing for precise applications on upcoming documents. You apply stamps to new papers, with each impression followed by a quick check on the monitor to verify uniformity. You update the checklist by ticking off each stamped document, tracking your completion rate to avoid any omissions in the work. The log notebook contains detailed records of every stamping session, documenting the meticulous processes of the workshop routine. A supervisor identifies a paper with a subpar stamp, indicating non-verbally that it requires restamping to meet quality standards. You restamp the flagged document with additional attention, correcting the earlier imperfection to achieve a flawless impression. You organize the stamped papers into a pile and check the time, preparing to transition into the verification stage of the shift. The shift enters the check phase, where every stamped document is thoroughly verified against the workshop's strict standards and lists. You begin the check process by comparing the initial stamped paper directly with the checklist criteria to ensure alignment. You employ a magnifying glass to inspect the stamp impression minutely, confirming that no errors are overlooked during verification. The lamplight illuminates the stamped documents, making every detail visible for accurate inspection in the workshop's check routine. You record the outcome of each check in the log notebook, categorizing papers as approved or requiring rework for documentation. You sort the stamped papers into two groups: approved documents and those that need to be restamped for quality assurance. You restamp a document from the correction pile, then verify it again to confirm it now meets the required standards exactly. The workshop room remains orderly, with all tools in place, supporting the ongoing check activities and maintaining the routine environment. You revise the checklist to include the restamped documents, making sure every entry is accounted for in the workshop records. You check the time and review the log entries, preparing to continue with the final stages of the shift in the workshop. You verify document number 6, checking the stamp impression against the checklist under the lamplight to ensure no errors are present. You inspect the stamp minutely with a magnifying glass, confirming that every detail meets the workshop's strict quality standards. You record the approval in the log notebook, documenting that this stamped paper has been verified as flawless. The checklist shows completed verifications, with each entry meticulously noted to track the progress of the check phase. You organize the approved documents and proceed to the next paper, keeping an eye on the time during the shift. You identify a document with a weak stamp mark, flag it for restamping, and prepare the stamp tool for correction. You restamp the flagged document with precise pressure, aiming to achieve a perfect impression that meets all requirements. The stamp tool and ink pad are positioned ready, supporting the ongoing restamping tasks in the workshop routine. You verify the restamped document again, comparing it directly to the checklist to confirm it now passes inspection. You document the correction in the log, recording the details of the restamp to maintain accurate workshop records. The workshop environment remains orderly, with all elements in place to support the continuous check activities. You consolidate the corrected documents with the approved ones, organizing them into a single pile for final processing. You finalize the checklist by verifying every entry is completed, ensuring no tasks are left unfinished in the check phase. You tally the approved documents and cross-reference with the checklist count to validate the completion of all checks. The log notebook displays detailed records of each check, highlighting the systematic documentation in the workshop routine. You secure the log notebook and check the camera monitor, confirming that all systems are normal in the workshop. You place the approved documents into a folder, readying them for secure storage as the check phase concludes. You perform a last review of the checklist and log, confirming that all check procedures are fully completed and documented. The lamplight illuminates the tidy workspace, symbolizing the meticulous completion of the check activities in the shift. You mark the completion time and prepare to transition, concluding the thorough check phase of the stamp shift routine. You move into the log phase, where final entries must be documented precisely to complete the stamp shift routine. You begin by opening the log notebook, ready to record the last details of today's stamping and checking activities. The log notebook displays systematic records of each stamp and check, emphasizing the importance of accurate documentation in the workshop. You document the completion of stamping tasks in the log, cross-referencing with the checklist to maintain order and precision. You tally the approved documents and log the count, verifying that all stamped papers are accounted for in the records. You arrange the folder with approved documents, ensuring it is tidy and ready for secure storage in the drawer cabinet. The drawer cabinet stands ready to securely hold the filed documents, a key element in the workshop's organizational system. You file the folder in the drawer cabinet, locking it away to conclude the document handling part of the shift. You perform a final check of the checklist, ensuring every task is marked as done and corresponds with the log documentation. You log the filing of documents, recording the time and method to complete the workshop's systematic record-keeping process. The camera monitor displays a calm scene, confirming that all workshop activities are proceeding normally without issues. You check the camera monitor for any alerts, verifying that the workshop environment remains stable as the shift nears its end. You organize the stamp tool and ink pad, stowing them away to tidy the workspace before concluding the shift activities. You turn off the desk lamp, signaling the end of active work and the transition to closing procedures in the workshop. The workshop room dims as the lamp is off, creating a subdued atmosphere that marks the completion of the day's routine tasks. You retrieve the key from the desk, preparing to secure the workshop by locking the door at the shift's conclusion. You approach the door with the key, taking a last look at the tidy workspace to ensure everything is in order. You lock the door with the key, the audible click confirming that the workshop is now securely closed for the shift. The key rests in the locked position, symbolizing the completion of the stamp shift and the maintenance of routine security measures. You conclude the shift by stepping away from the locked door, marking another day of flawless stamping and logging in the workshop. You move through the hallway, the echo marking the end of another precise stamp shift in the hidden document room. The clock records the shift's conclusion, a timed moment logged in the workshop's daily operational records. You store the key in the locker, following the routine procedure for securing access tools between shifts. The keys rest in the locker, organized by tags to maintain order in the workshop's controlled entry system. You check the schedule to confirm your next assignment, preparing for another day of document stamping and logging. The camera monitor shows the workshop now vacant, a calm scene after the day's stamping and verification tasks. You leave the building through the exterior door, transitioning from the workshop's controlled environment to the night. The building stands quietly at night, the lit window hinting at the hidden workshop's ongoing routine operations. You take a final glance at the building, acknowledging another completed shift before heading homeward. You depart into the night, the routine of stamp shifts set to repeat tomorrow, maintaining the workshop's ordered life.